Hello, and welcome to the Superhero Hub. I am Sam,
Timer.
and today this is another episode of Up for Review. Today, damn it, what are we going to be reviewing today?
Supergirl.
Supergirl, the latest episode, season 2, maybe episode 12, maybe episode 13. And this episode is called The Martian Chronicles. Now this was a very Martian-centric episode, which in the grand scheme of things is pretty pointless. And let me tell you why. I had when I was watching it, I kind of had an epiphany as well, because I was thinking to myself, if Alex Danvers got killed, it wouldn't really affect the show. Because think, you got Win at the DEO now, you kind of got everyone bumming around the DEO, it's pointless. And I was sitting and I was thinking to myself, how many people would actually be like, do you know, you have favourite characters and stuff like that, or oh, Supergirl's great, The Flash is great, blah blah blah, but could you ever imagine someone sitting down and being like, oh my god, Alex Danvers is my favourite character in Supergirl?
No, but I still think you need her on the show. She's the relationship that's probably closest to Kara. The one person she can open up and be honest to about everything. The link to a human side, if you want to put it that way. So I think you need her on the show. She's someone she can talk to.
So I sat and I thought about it and I deliberated and I thought, if she gets killed, it's not really going to be a problem. It's not really going to bother me that much.
But they're not really going to kill her, though, are they? You know, these shows don't really do that. They don't kill the important people.
Yeah, but she's not important.
Well, she is important, though. She's important enough.
She's
been there since the beginning. She's a link to the DEO or whatever the hell they're called.
Because Win's there now. So that's the point I made 2 minutes ago.
Yeah, but Win and Kara have a different relationship. That's not how it works. That's their closest link. It's like killing off, Barry's kind of dad, Joe. You need him there. They have that bond.
Nah, because you could get his real dad back on.
No, he's dead. Spoilers.
Right. So anyway, we start off with the start of the episode, and Kara's decided she's got plenty of options, and she can just reject Mon-El because she's so pretty and she's so amazing, and this guy's a bit too rough for her, so it's like, sorry, not interested. I mean, who does she think she is?
I don't know. She is kind of acting like she's got people banging down the door for her, which, I mean, she's very attractive. You think she would, but she doesn't really. I mean, it's
but she's
Jimmy or Mon-El, isn't it? You know, I know which one I'll go with.
See, that's a good point as well, because that's another point you bring up. Because when she has her glasses on, she's kind of meh, you know what I mean? But when she doesn't have her glasses on, she's hot to trot.
She's not overweight. It's the classic Vino, isn't it? You whack glasses on someone, they look completely different. I mean, it's a Superman thing.
Yeah, I know, but she's hot anyway. I think it's the glasses. I think it's the type of glasses. I think it magnifies her eyes too much. But not
yeah, but
for me.
It's also part of it. You know, it's part of posture. Obviously, she's very good looking, but when she wears the glasses, the posture in her body, she looks more like a geek. She hunches over, whereas when she's Supergirl, she's all stood up and proper. So this is how you play it. Christopher Reeve did the same thing.
So my issue was with that, and now we've got ourselves in a bit of a situation because she's and ahed. It's like, oh yeah, he drinks club soda, as in she's like, oh, I thought he drank alcohol, and then the revelation that for the past week, ever since he's said about his feelings for her, he's cut the alcohol out and is just drinking the club soda.
Yeah, okay. Forgive my ignorance. What is club soda?
I think it's just soda water.
Oh,
I think it's kind of like lemonade.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like crusty kind of lemonade, just like fizzy water, I guess. So like non-alcoholic. So yeah, she's kind of and then she's thinking then, and now we're stuck in the situation. Like, if anyone watches the Goldbergs, do you watch the Goldbergs?
No.
Ah, damn it. Well, there's a thing with that, with like Eric, like the girl on that, and like she's like, she allows the geeky kid off, and then like at the end of the season, she's like, actually, on second thoughts, maybe I do like him. But by which point, he's with like another girl, and we've got ourselves in one of those situations now, haven't we?
Right, it's soap opera stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, and
Shit over again.
yeah, and it's kind of annoying because he. It's hard to really explain because Monel must know that she's like the cat's pajamas, you know what I mean?
No.
That she's like real like top quality
Attractive.
stuff. Top quality, yeah. Like it's like
Yeah, she's hot.
let's be serious and that. It's like even though he's hot, he's like he must know and that she's like whoa, you know what I mean? Like next level, I guess, and not because she's like an alien. I mean that's cool too and that, but
It's a
basically,
show on the CW. Yes, she's attractive. They all are. That's the point, isn't it?
well, I could mention some some
Yeah, do
exceptions.
it.
What, do it?
No, don't do it.
Okay, I won't do that.
Keep it classy.
So yeah, so now we're kind of stuck in a revolving door kind of thing. Now, if you kind of look at it like that, if they're planning to get rid of him or kill him off or whatever, it's not really that thing. But she's going to be kicking herself like, oh, if only I told him my feelings, then maybe this wouldn't have happened. Oh, it's like so. I think for the next couple of episodes, her kind of, because she's going to be bumming around him now and that. They're going to be beating around the bush a lot, and she's going to be looking at him, or isn't he dreamy, blah blah blah. And it's like, look, that ship has sailed, and it's just you're just going to be like getting annoyed. I think that's the kind of going to be the time for the next couple of episodes.
Of course it is. You know, I like the shows, or some more than others, but they are all inherently kind of the same thing. There's no point acting like they're not. You know, Oliver had the same thing with Felicity. Barry had the same thing with Iris, and now this is going to be Supergirl's version.
Yeah.
They'll probably fuck up by the end of the season, if not the next.
One positive thing, like that Alex Maggie thing, like right at the start, where instead of dragging it out for the whole episode and that, they were just like, look, go and see your sister, as opposed to like having an argument over it, over the concert and her birthday. So
Yeah, that was done pretty well. I'd argue they're not interesting enough to make them the focal point of an episode for that kind of stuff peppered in. That works fine.
another kind of thing that kind of went nowhere as well is like, I don't know how they get down on Mars, but it's like last week and for quite a long time he's been pissed off at her. I want her dead, not interested. Then it's like, actually you're the most important thing to me, and I've known it all along. It's like, come on, knock it off.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Also, you know how some things can work on a comic book but don't in live action? The very end, when they like touch foreheads and they're doing that weird thing when they were touching it, I was like, no, like, this looks stupid.
Yeah,
Just say bye and go.
Thank God she trans, mate. Yeah, it's like they kind of built it up into something for the episode, their relationship, and then she just kind of pissed off anyway. It was like, well, what's the point? Sometimes they do that, and it's just like, what's the point? Why couldn't you just like had mutual respect for each other, then left, as opposed to having them pretty much make up stuff because you're so, I can't live without you, and it's just like, yo, have you been watching this show for the past couple of weeks? It's like, give them the DVD, give them the box set, and tell them to watch it back, and then they can and then honestly with a straight face tell us if that's plausible. Come on now.
It's come completely out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I think the episode's important, but part of why the episode's important is why it didn't work, which is that Martian Manhunter has kind of been in the background. He hasn't been as key, maybe because of Monel, and I like Monel, I like him being in there, but for the most part he's kind of been hanging around giving out orders and not really been the focus of an episode. So I think he needed to be the focus of an episode. I think they needed to hit on the White Martians again, but because he hasn't been, and because they haven't really built it up between them, when you play it out, it just doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
If he'd been involved a bit more, if their relationship had been involved a bit more in the show throughout the season, then maybe I would have bought it. But this has come from absolutely nowhere. And I can't buy that he's heartbroken over this woman who he didn't give a crap about, 5 episodes ago or whatever it was.
Even less, like 2 episodes. It was all very strong as well. It wasn't just like, yeah, I'm into you. It was literally like, oh my god, you're the best thing that ever happened to me ever. And it's like, yo, these are all very strong things you're saying now. So, I mean, if I had to name a character as my favourite character for the episode, I would have to say it was Evil Win. But even then, like, the writing on this show is kind of sloppy, because it kind of, when it's like confronting them and that, and it turns out it's the White Martian, and it's just like, they just come out with the most generic, like, villainous lines ever, and it's just like, come on, can't you write some better stuff like that? Oh, if I knew when I come here it was going to be this fun. It's just like, oh, come on now.
And I will say, I will get onto the White Martians, because I do think they're cool, and I think they did a cool thing with them in the episode. But before I do that, one thing I've got to harp on that bugged me on that kind of effect as well was when they had Miss Martian talking about her husband. Of course, it just happened to be her husband.
Yeah.
And they trotted out that line, oh, he's the worst of our kind. Every time, oh, he's the worst. Why does he have to be the worst?
Yeah, the writers are real sloppy in that. It's really like kind of...
It's real shorthand. You know what I mean? Like we're talking about with they haven't developed their relationship. That's shorthand as well. You're telling us that he's the worst of their kind, but you're not showing us that. There's no proof to that. We haven't seen any of that. You're just telling us, and then here he is, he's the worst. No, that doesn't work that way. I might be able to buy that of Lex Luthor with all my knowledge of the character, but you can't do that with some random White Martian I've never heard of.
Yeah, the White Martians have barely really been mentioned either. I mean, you've had a couple flashbacks. You kind of now you know. I think it was interesting that they kind of spilt the beans on Mars. That like now all the Greens are gone, and literally it's like pure White Martians on Mars now. So because I was always thinking to myself, is anything actually going on Mars in this kind of in Supergirl? And now it turns out that they're like the White Martians are like in control of it now. It's like, do like people know this? Do like have like humans on Supergirl's Earth, have they like sent probes out and like realised that there's like White Martians on the Mars?
I don't know, because it's interesting because it's hard to realise. They know about Superman. I think everyone knows Superman's from Krypton, right?
Yeah, because you've got Krypton
Superman.
Park.
Right, Superman, from what we can understand, has been around for quite a long time now. Because he looks about 30, but he must be, 40 odd at least. So he's been going for about 20 odd years. So they must know about aliens. So surely the first place you check is Mars. So I don't know. I have no idea. It's an interesting question. I will say, what I did find quite cool was how it kind of turned into a horror movie.
Yeah.
They did.
Kind of like The Thing.
Yeah, exactly like The Thing. They did the scene. It was a famous scene in The Thing where McCready, Kurt Russell, and everyone else they're all suspicious of one another, and so they have to test their blood. And if the blood reacts to I think it's fire or something, then they know that one's the Thing. And they basically redo that scene in Supergirl, but they tie it into Martian Manhunter's fear of fire, which was very cool. I think it was a fun scene, but then, like you say, the impact was kind of ruined by the wind thing, which you've seen it over and over again, and the dialogue delivery. But that was quite fun. And also, it was kind of alien when they found them in the pods or whatever it was.
Yeah, I think it was interesting they threw that Alex was one as well. I thought that was it. It was nothing like earth shattering, like oh my god. If it like happened like right at the start of the episode, and then like half hour later you realise that she's also a White Martian. But credit where credit's due, I will agree with like the evil Alex, where she was just like, I don't have the energy to pretend that I care about your problems. It was like, yeah, I think that there's a couple bits in the episode where you weren't around White Martian where I think that would have been quite applicable. So I thought that was
I, th- I think that I think that's cool. I will say my one thing with the show really is that there's no impact. In an episode, I don't think the that was quite fun.
They kind of
Rang
rush
with the Alex
everything.
thing. Yeah, and then there's no. I don't feel like there's any long term thing. When something happens in Flash, it's the problem to compare. But when they found out Harrison Wells, or that that episode of Harrison Wells where he killed Cisco.
Yeah.
Yes, he came back to life, and yes, it was undone, but it still had an impact on the rest of the show. It still felt. I don't feel that in Supergirl. I don't feel like there's any impact.
Because they rush everything. Because I mean, even
Yeah.
looking at the pacing of the episode, like pretty much the whole, like all the kind of thing with the reactor blinder, all that was finished. Like, and there was still like 10 minutes left in the episode. Normally, when all the kind of stuff's resolved and things like that, there's about maybe, I don't know, 3 minutes left of the episode, and then they'll throw in like, oh, pretty much what's going to happen next week. They start leaning towards that. But this, literally, all that stuff was wrapped up, and there was 10 minutes left. And I was looking and I was thinking, well, what else are they really going to do for the rest of the episode except warble on about nothing? And that's pretty much what they did.
Well, I guess that's basically what I'm saying. I feel that it's the most formulaic, the most the weak kind of show out of all of them. I feel like if I miss 5 episodes of The Flash or Arrow, I might be wondering what the hell is going on now. Or if it's Supergirl, I don't think that's really the case. And you could argue that's a good thing, that someone can jump on at any point and not have to worry about it. I suppose that's fair, but when you use the storytelling of the other shows, I'm not feeling it so far.
No. I mean, yeah. So I mean, after all that stuff was resolved, like another issue, why the DEO building, a government building's powered by like a nuclear reactor when it's like, yo, it's a government building. Wouldn't they just like run it off normal electricity and get a stipend because it's a government building, as opposed to running it off a reactor, which not only blows up the building but will take 10 city blocks with it as well? I was thinking, come on, that's a bit sloppy. I mean, yeah, they probably threw it in to add like an urgency to the fact that not only is the the building was never going to blow up. That's kind of series finale stuff. If they drop that in the series finale, then I'd think actually there's a chance this building's going to blow up. But I mean, to just throw that stuff in and knowing that absolutely nothing was going to happen, I thought that was, they had like detailed the stuff that I think that is going to make you think, oh my god, but it's like, come on, I know how these kind of things go. I know absolutely there's going to be no consequence to this happening, so it's just like whatever. So they kind of they throw something pointless in, and then they whack a load of details on it as if you're going to be like, oh my god, and it's just like, come on, I see this every episode, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to blow up. So it's just like whatever. So that's a bit baggage. And if the building did blow up, that probably would have been the most interesting thing that would happen.
Probably.
Would have happened all season, but that's just a general statement anyway. I mean, you could say that about anything. If someone dies or something blows up, then all of a sudden it changes the game. So yeah, dragging out kind of the end of the episode, them talking over a cake, which she felt the need to get a fork out to eat, is like, don't people just pick up, like, that cake was a wussy cake, you know what I mean? So
It's not even a cake.
Yeah,
it's not even a cake.
It's pretty sure it is like a cupcake or whatever. You pick it up, you yam on it. You don't get like 2 forks out like it's some cake about this big. It's like, mate, it's like that big. I'd eat that in one bite. So they're getting out the forks. That bothered me.
And she's Supergirl. She's like a super metabolism.
Yeah,
you can do nothing for her.
That's what I mean. But I got really annoyed at the fact that she was getting out like a fork for that cruddy little cake. That bothered me. They waffled on about pretty much the same thing they waffle on about every episode. Pointless. And then obviously it brings it back to Catco, where Mon-El's with that other girl. I'm pretty sure he banged in the first episode he turned up, where he was pretending to work at thing. So, and then she's like about to say something, then she doesn't say anything, and then they're just going to and ah on that for a couple of episodes, and by the time they resolve that, see, that's kind of like the longhand comparison to Martian Manhunter and Miss Martian, you know what I mean? They'll drag it out for about 10 episodes and then he'll leave, as opposed to dragging out for half an episode and Miss Martian leaving. They'll drag this out to the season finale, then he'll probably end up getting killed or leaving. So it'd just be like, that was pretty pointless. So I'm not really interested in any of the relationships at all. So I mean, if there's anything you'd like to add about anything, we'll move on to numbers.
Well, no, Jimmy Olsen this week.
Yeah, I know the episode was ruined because Jimmy wasn't in it. I was really looking forward to it. Said no one ever.
Are Supergirl's parents ever in the show?
What you mean, like Zor-El and?
No, Dean Cain and Helen Slater.
Well, Dean Cain popped up a couple of episodes, so it's like with Cadmus. So he's like been captured by that. He helped Kara escape when Lillian Luthor kidnapped her. So he's at Cadmus. No really mention on him. He'll probably pop up in the season finale. As for the mum, nothing this season. I think she was like maybe in 1 or 2 episodes in the first season to like no effect ever. So just like they've been shelved.
That's weird because Barry's dad used to pop up pretty regularly, so I just figured they'd be more involved. Oh, what happened to Lena Luthor?
I think that's kind of going to be the focus of the next episode, because the next episode is entitled Luthor's, and it's going to have because they were going to blow up the aliens, and then she switched the thing out. So Lillian Luthor ended up getting sent to prison, and then Lena, I guess, went back to L Corp, just doing her normal thing. So she's going to be the focus of the next episode, because it's going to have flashbacks to how she got adopted into the Luthor family. So I mean, I'm expecting. I mean, at the least, they can throw in a little Lex Luthor.
Oh, you mean like as a little child?
Yeah, child Lex Luthor. I mean, they could at least give us that. I mean, really, they should just throw in a big Lex Luthor.
No.
I think that they should just do that in the season finale. Just have him sweating in prison.
Without Superman.
I don't know. We'll see. But
that answers my question. So I guess ratings then.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with a 6.5.
Yeah.
I like the horror stuff. I liked.
Yeah, but it's to like no effect. They wrapped it up too quickly. They probably thought, "Here's a good idea. We're not going to build on it. We're just going to throw a concept in there and run with that." And then when people, distract people with CGI fighting for the rest of the episode, which I guess was good. When Supergirl was smacking up the White Martian in the background, that was pretty good. It
wasn't the Martian Manhunter, Miss Martian stuff was kind of cool, I guess. Where you can tell they're blowing their budget on it, but. Yeah, it was fine. 6.5 was okay.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6. I've got a feeling I'm going to enjoy the next episode more. So I mean, that's it for this review. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you in the next episode.